to a brand new episode of Coming Distractions brought to you by the Nerdpocalypse podcast. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
All right, guys, we're back. This time we're going to sit and do a little bit longer spoiler laden review of Daredevil season 3. Obviously, this is on Netflix. This is it's been out for, I guess, 2 weeks now. And we want to give a chance for people to watch it before we really dug into it. So again, this does have spoilers. So if you have not watched season 3 at all of Daredevil or previous seasons or haven't finished season 3, maybe stop this and then go back and check those out. But we're going to talk about it, give our thoughts, and talk about, any and everything. So, Michael, what did you think of season 3?
Well, this was amazing,
to say the least.
I was a little apprehensive to start it just because, season 2 wasn't my favorite, and I didn't really care for it. And so it took me a minute to get into starting it, but once I started it, that was it.
All in.
I'm all in. This is. I mean, we keep saying this, right? But this is the best one.
Of all far and away
of all these Netflix shows, this is the best one this season.
This season, yeah, I agreed. Yeah. Absolutely.
I think Daredevil is the strongest show. Period.
Yeah, undoubtedly.
But this season is far and away the best thing that the Netflix Marvel experiment has wrought. Everybody's firing on all cylinders, man.
Yeah.
And it is it's 13 episodes and all of them are good, right? Like all of them feel like they're necessary to tell this particular story. I mean, it's great, man. It's one of the series that this series will be watched multiple times.
Yeah, this is the first Netflix Marvel series that I've wanted to go back and check out again.
Yeah.
And that's not to say I didn't like Luke Cage or I didn't like the first season of Daredevil or Jessica Jones, but I never felt the need to go back and rewatch those. This one, I'm like, I kind of want to dig back into this again. Yeah. Because the acting is so damn good.
Yeah. And this is like characterization of the various characters, man. Like everyone is given time to grow. Everyone is given time to, everybody, the big thing used to be the sympathetic villain, right?
Right.
You don't need your villains to be sympathetic. You just need to understand their motivation.
Yeah.
And that's
I think that's an important distinction.
Right. And that's what this film does. Like you understand why Poindexter is the way he is.
He's a fucking nutcase.
He's a nutbag. You understand why Kingpin does the things that he does.
Yeah, I never found him, and that's interesting. It's a very good distinction because I never found Kingpin sympathetic.
Yeah, I don't feel sympathetic. He's rich and powerful.
Right, and he's also ruthless.
Right.
But you do understand why he does what he does.
Right.
And that does give him a level of depth. Because, I found the first season got so much accolades because they gave Kingpin so much time. Mm-hmm. Right? Where it was he was this kind of awkward guy and then he cut a guy's head off with a door. He was like, okay.
It was brutal.
Yeah, it was like, okay, this is not what I expected. And so you kind of got that and you started kind of going down his path while you were simultaneously going down Daredevil's path and figuring them all out. Mm. And in this case, you also got that, but they really dug into Kingpin in a way that you hadn't seen before. And then adding Bullseye into the mix, you got even more of it, which I thought was really impressive.
You even do it with Daredevil. One of the things that makes Daredevil a unique character is that he's Irish Catholic. You didn't really delve into that in the first season. You certainly didn't do it in the second season.
No. The second season it doesn't even feel like the same show to me.
When I was watching the recap, I feel like they just glossed over the second season.
Yeah, they kind of did.
Yeah, because
they're like, no, don't talk about that.
There wasn't really much. You can watch the first season of Daredevil, skip the second season, skip Defenders, watch season 3, and I think you'll be okay.
No, without a doubt. There's nothing about season 3 that talks anything about season 2. Right. Besides what happened to Matt Murdock that's the only thing that is relevant out of Defenders for him, is that you thought he was dead.
Right. But they really delve into Matt Murdock's crisis of faith.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty powerful, actually.
Yeah, man. Like we always say, oh, well, this certain character could be this. Like, oh, you could have a black Spider-Man, or because his problems are universal. But like, no, Daredevil needs to be Irish Catholic, because he's got to wrestle with all that, man. Right. And they dig into it, man. And they like, it's some good drama, man. They dig into you get to see a little bit of Foggy's, home life, but nobody really gives a fuck about Foggy.
I cared about his home life in this season.
It made you care about it, but I think for me, I cared about it because of what the other people around him were doing.
Yeah, I said it on last week's full episode of the Nerdpocalypse. The casting for Foggy's family was so good. Yeah. It was really, really well done. I was like, yo, is this his actual mom? Like, but they gave, like, to your point, like, they gave, like, his brother, they gave him a tie back into the main story. And they gave his parents a tie back into the main story, like, kind of through his brother. And his girlfriend is tied back into the main story. So they're not just characters who exist kind of attached to him, but they have a purpose in that story.
They have a purpose, and I think their purpose is to show the Kingpin's reach. Like the Kingpin can get you, which, I'll be honest with you, I don't like omnipotent villains.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
But it's played so well, like I just forget about it.
Yeah, well, because I think the reason it works, and this is just my guess, the reason why it works is because you've got, he's sort of an omnipotent villain, but it's a crime boss, right? So it's not a supernatural kind of thing, right? He's not just like, he can't be beaten, you know what I mean? Like, he can be beaten, but...
he's still a man.
Yeah, he's still a man, so he still has a vulnerability about him.
And that's the thing, right? Like, his vulnerability is personified in Vanessa. Yeah. Right? Like, that's his biggest, it's weird because Vanessa is his entire motivation and his greatest weakness and the source of his strength. Like, it's wild, man.
She's a fascinating character in that way.
She is, man. And even when she comes in later in the season, she knows what the deal is. Like,
and I like that.
Yeah,
like, you can't play her as coy for too long. Yeah. In the beginning, she's like, "Oh, what do you do now?" She's like, "You need to kill this guy." I'm like, "Dad, okay, like right. you're a major crime boss's wife, dude. Like, come on, you can't pretend to have your head in the sand."
Yeah, she's not stupid. Nobody here is stupid. Nobody does anything stupid. Not that I can remember.
Right.
And man, I just the Agent Nadeem being the point of view character, the character that the audience has to go through.
I love that.
Yo,
that was great.
It was amazing, man. Like, through him, you were taken on this ride in this weird fucking world, man. And we're a couple of people of color, and we appreciate the fact that Agent Nadeem is an Indian dude. You don't see that, man.
No,
an Indian dude with an Indian family, an Indian wife, and an Indian child. Like,
they didn't shy away from that at all.
And I'm really happy about that, man.
And they had like a couple of moments where, I mean, I'm not sure if it was like Hindi or Urdu or whatever what they were.
It was
speaking.
Hindi. It was Hindi. Yeah.
Like, they actually spoke it, and they didn't subtitle it. They were just like, you don't need to know what the fuck they're saying. Like, we'll explain it through context clues. Like, that is a conversation between them, which I thought was kind of a clever way to
even in the subtitles, because I was so addicted to this, I was listening to it on the train.
Oh,
I was watching it on the train, but the train is loud, so I got to have subtitles on. Even with the subtitles, they just say speaking in Hindi.
Yeah, see, it's none of your business.
Right, it's none of your business what they talk.
Right, yeah. So I thought that was cool. Yeah, I thought Agent Nadeem was interesting because
he's a great character, man.
He was a great character, but it is a very comic book thing to do, right? Batman comics are known for this, right? or you can a better even one-to-one is Batman the Animated Series did this from time to time. They would pick a regular character, this NPC almost in the universe, and use them as a through line to have the Joker and Batman like kind of poking at them from different angles, right? Yeah. So you would get the normal guy experience walking through Gotham City, and it's kind of the normal guy's experience. I mean, he's an FBI agent, but the normal guy's experience through Hell's Kitchen, through the era of vigilantes and superheroes, and villains. Like, so that was really cool. When I kind of realized that they were going to stick with him through like multiple episodes, because I thought, oh, okay, maybe this is like a kind of a one-off.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be done at like at episode 2 or 3.
Right, and then it was like, oh, this dude's sticking around, and then he kind of goes away for a bit as they're building up these other characters, and then he comes right back, and he is a major part of it. I thought that was dope. I thought that was super dope.
I loved it, man. Yeah. I loved it.
And look, his ending, I mean, obviously we're talking spoilers, his ending of being killed by Bullseye made sense. Like, he shouldn't have lived through that season.
No.
Like, he had to go. And he wasn't a bad guy or anything. It was just like, you're too wrapped up in these guys who are vicious that they wouldn't just pop you to get you out of the way. Like, they would. Of course they would.
Yeah. Bullseye. I mean, Bullseye is one of the few like villains that is solely like Daredevils that I attribute directly to Daredevil.
Yeah, definitely.
I still attribute the Kingpin as a Spider-Man villain first and then a Daredevil villain, but Bullseye is like a Daredevil villain, and he is played by Wilson Bethel. And yeah, man,
this dude was great.
He was great. Everything about him was like, again, he wasn't a sympathetic character, but I kind of just pitied him.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I disagree that I think he is a sympathetic character to a point.
And
like, then it's like, nah, this dude is, I mean,
yeah, look, this guy was killing animals as a child,
Right, like, this dude's a psychopath. And then, like, you have that slow break. I think I was down for, like, oh, I pity him, right up until he murdered a priest in a church. I was like, oh, well, okay, all right. Or murdering all the journalists. Like, dude, you're just a psychopath.
Yeah. But it could be argued that, well, like
taking advantage of.
Yeah, like his therapist said, well, it's not really your fault. You don't know you were born a certain way, and you don't know how to manage it, right?
But I love that recurring thing that they taught him as a kid. No, that was hard. That must be very hard for you.
Right, like
he's trying to pretend to be a human being, which is really fascinating. He was
a perfect sociopath, man.
Yeah, like he had no. That seems hard. That seems very hard. Like, you just keep saying the same thing. You psychopath.
Pavlovian, right? Because it's what you're supposed to say to not feel like a psycho.
These are my lines.
I at the end, he's getting operated on. He's getting operated on by the doctor who created the adamantium bonding process.
Yep.
I mean, look.
They didn't say it.
They didn't say it.
But it's open now.
But it's there. Like, if it's there.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I don't know. Because that got me thinking about, you know what? What if X-Men were given the Marvel Netflix treatment?
Now that's interesting.
And it doesn't have to be like the core team of, the superstars. It doesn't have to be Cyclops and Wolverine and Storm and all that. But I would love to see a show based in that world.
You could do the Morlocks that way.
Yeah.
You could do them.
But, yeah, man, I loved it.
Yeah. Okay. Before we go, and we would be remiss if we didn't talk about this, because I was just thinking as you were talking about Bullseye, we would be remiss if we didn't discuss the season hallway scene or the big action sequence, which is Matt Murdock escaping from the jail.
Oh my God, dude!
Because it's been a week and a half, 2 weeks since I've watched it. That scene is pretty goddamn amazing. And it's a single shot, by the way.
Yeah. Those fight scenes, right? Like, everybody was upset that Iron Fist doesn't know how to fight. Look, the fight scenes in Daredevil, they look good, but they look better because they're brutal.
Yeah.
Like
there's no finesse to them.
Yeah, it's just real raw. And it's something that you don't see. It's how people fight for real.
Yeah, there's no like Floyd Mayweather people just punch each other until one guy falls down. That's it.
It's people running into each other and then just
there's no blocking. Huh? Yeah, they just beat each other until one falls.
Yeah,
that scene was very cool because there is multiple things happening. It's a one solid tracking shot. There's good fights. There again, it's very brutal. It feels very real. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, again, in a hallway, this is the last place you want to be with any of these people.
Yeah, man.
Nah, it's dangerous.
Goodness gracious.
Oh shit, there's a hallway. Get out of there. Just get out of there. No, you're in the bad part of town. I thought that was very cool.
The fight at the end between Daredevil and Fisk, like that shit I was turgid, man. I was ready for that shit. Like, let's go.
Good. Well, it was a 3-way fight.
Yeah,
because Bullseye was there.
Bullseye came in,
dude. Ow! That scene where fucking Kingpin lifts him and just like bangs him on the side of the wall. It's like Jesus Christ! Oh, look, he got his spine broken. Of course he did. Good Lord, that was good. The first time Daredevil and Bullseye throw down at the
bulletin.
At the bulletin was pretty dope. That was a lot of trick shots and stuff like that. That was pretty fun.
And I like Bullseye's abilities. Like they picked a villain that has a power that is easily filmable. Like you can, like Daredevil straddles the line between fantasy and reality very, very well.
Yeah,
you know,
you can just hear really good.
Yeah, it's not little frail Jessica Jones picking up dudes 3 times her size.
Right.
It's not Luke Cage just standing there while bullets pop off or whatever. Like, but I can suspend enough disbelief to believe that this guy is a trick shot artist.
Yeah, it's not that crazy.
Right, I mean, it's not that crazy. There are trick shot artists,
right? I mean, some of it was a little insane. I mean, but in that universe, it works, right? It's like this dude can like bank a baseball and hit you in the face where he can't see. I mean, come on, that's a little wild, but it's also incredibly entertaining to watch. So yeah, I thought Bullseye was a great choice. Now, last question. Could you have seen Jason Statham in this role?
No, not at all. Look, quite frankly, Jason Statham does not have the acting ability to.
I don't think so at all. No. I don't think so at all. Like, because he was rumored to be him, and he was like, "No, I don't want to do it now." That everyone's excited, but frankly, no, I don't think you would. You could have done the role justice physically, but as the acting. No. I mean, all the psychopathic behavior and all this other stuff, I don't think Statham has that in it.
I think the character would have been written differently. I think it would have had to have been written differently. I think it would have been just
military
Bullseye
guy.
is just an assassin for hire, like in the Daredevil movie. I think it would have been that, and not necessarily the way it was in this series.
Yeah, but yeah, that's likely.
But yeah, man.
Yeah,
this was great.
I was very impressed. I'm very interested to see what happens with this series next. Whether it sticks around on Netflix, whatever they do. But they nailed it. This is the high point. And look, I would put this up, and I mean this 100% without any level of like trying to be hyperbolic for clicks or anything. I put this season up against any season of any comic book show. Period.
Honestly, I'll do you one better. I'll put this up against an HBO show. HBO is usually
pretty high
the
mark.
Network that gets all the Emmys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this felt like something that would be on HBO.
Yeah.
And that is meant to be a compliment, because HBO is the high watermark when it comes to television.
Yeah, like John from Cincinnati. Remember that? I watched that show and I still don't know what happened.
But yeah, man, I fell in love with this season, man.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you haven't seen Daredevil season 3 and you are still listening to this like a crazy person, go check it out. And if you have watched it, which you definitely should, go watch it again. So, all right, that's it. That's our deep dive for Daredevil season 3. Not sure what will come back. I guess, I don't know. What's the next one coming out? Jessica Jones? Punisher, I think, is the next one, actually.
Yeah, Punisher. I think
Yeah. So we'll see what that turns out to be. So, all right, guys, we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.
You're watching the Nerdpocalypse YouTube channel. Make sure you click that button to subscribe and check out our weekly podcast where we talk about movie, TV, news, tech, and weird stories from around the internet.